గురుకుల ఉద్యోగ గైడ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్కి స్వాగతం. ఈరోజు మనము గురుకులలో సంబంధించి ఇంగ్లీష్ సబ్జెక్టు రీడింగ్ కాంప్రహెన్షన్స్ గురించి తెలుసుకుందాం. మనతో సీనియర్ ఫ్యాకల్టీ రామభద్రాచార్యులు మనతో ఉన్నారు. సార్ని అడిగి సబ్జెక్ట్ ఇంపార్టెన్స్ ఏంటి, ఇంతకుముందు ఎలాంటి క్వశ్చన్స్ వచ్చాయి, ఎంత ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఈ సబ్జెక్ట్ అని చెప్పేసి మనం సార్ని అడిగి తెలుసుకుందాం. సార్ నమస్తే సార్. సార్, ఇంగ్లీష్లో రీడింగ్ కాంప్రహెన్షన్స్ చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ సార్. అసలు రీడింగ్ కాంప్రహెన్షన్స్ అంటే ఏంటి సార్? అసలు
reading comprehension means whatever we read and try to get the information out of our reading, that should be analyzed. That is comprehension. We have to thoroughly understand what we get from the text, whatever we read. మనం ఏదైనా చదువుతాము, ఆ చదివిన దాంట్లో ఉన్నటువంటి విశేషం ఏమిటి అనే దాన్ని మనము తెలుసుకుని దాన్ని విశ్లేషణ చేయడం అన్నమాట. విశ్లేషణ చేయడం చాలా ప్రధానం. ఊరకు చదవడం కాదు రీడింగ్ అంటే. చదివి అందులో ఉన్నటువంటి విషయాన్ని గ్రహించడం, ఆ గ్రహించిన విషయాన్ని విశ్లేషించడం, అందులో ఏమైనా ఇంకా ఇతరమైన విశేషాలు ఏమైనా అంతర్యంగా లోపల దాగి ఉన్న ఏమైనా ఉన్నాయా అవి కూడా తెలుసుకోవాలి. So, reading is not just reading the words, sentences and paragraphs, but reading is to get information whatever is being conveyed through those symbols and groups of symbols in the form of words, sentences and paragraphs. Okay? We shall discuss that matter in detail today in this session. Okay? Good. 50 వచ్చేది చూడండి ఫ్రేమ్ లో. Before we move on to discuss what reading comprehension is,
okay sir.
Before we move on to discuss what reading comprehension is and how it is being dealt with, let us first discuss what reading is and what the reading process, the process of reading is. To discuss that matter frankly, reading is decoding the symbols and getting at the ideas being conveyed through those symbols. The symbols are in the form of words, sentences and paragraphs. So, whatever those symbols convey us, that should be decoded. The symbols are to be decoded. Whatever words, sentences and paragraphs we read, the information is to be got from those words, sentences and paragraphs. And after getting at the information again, we have to analyze. That is what reading is. Reading is for thorough understanding of what is being conveyed through those sentences and paragraphs. Okay? Let us move on further. This is the process of reading. In the process of reading, we decode the words, sentences and paragraphs to get at the right meaning and ideas that are being conveyed. It is a decoding process. And whenever we try to write, we try to encode our ideas in the form of symbols, that is words, sentences and paragraphs. We encode. Their encoding is done in the case of writing, and in the case of reading, decoding is done. That is the process of reading. When we resort to reading, we are exposed to the language elements. Whenever we read a text, some text, what are we exposed to? We are exposed to the vocabulary items, various words, which are arranged in the form of sentence patterns, in which these vocabulary items are arranged for giving a specific meaning. So, reading skill is developed by developing the comprehending ability in the learners through reading, and that is called reading comprehension. So, learners ought to be trained in such a way that they cultivate right habit of reading. When reading, they go on reading and reading and reading the texts, the books, whatever they find and whatever they get, and try to enrich their knowledge, not only just enriching their knowledge, they further try to analyze the knowledge, whatever they gained. Okay? So, that is the important and reading comprehension. Mainly, there are three kinds of reading comprehension, and they are to be developed at various levels, right from the primary level, secondary level, collegiate level, and university level, advanced level. At all levels, ability to comprehend whatever is read, that has to be cultivated and developed. The first one is the factual or literal comprehension. This involves the ability to extract the factual information from a text. If you read a text, what factual information is available there, that is got by means of this factual comprehension. Whatever is explicitly stated over there, ఏదైతే అక్కడ బాగా విషయం వ్యక్తం చేయబడిందో, ఎక్స్ప్లిట్గా చెప్పబడిందో దానిని గ్రహించడం, దిస్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ factual comprehension or literal comprehension, and this is otherwise called reading from the lines. Okay? This is the first variety of reading comprehension, literal comprehension or factual comprehension, and it is otherwise called reading from the lines. The second one is inferential or interpretative comprehension. What is this? This kind of comprehension necessitates the learner to go with inferring what is meant from the understanding of what is stated in the passage or the text. Whatever is conveyed in the text, that gives some certain information. From that information, what else can be inferred? అందులో నుంచి ఇంకా ఏమీ మనము ఇన్ఫర్ చేయవచ్చు అంటే ఇంకా అందులో దాగి ఉన్నటువంటి విషయాలు ఏమిటి? ఈ బయట చెప్పబడుతున్న విషయం ఇది, దీనికి ఆంతర్యంగా ఏమున్నది, ఏమి చెప్పాలని ఇలా చెప్తున్నారు. ఆంతర్యంగా ఏం దాగి ఉన్నది అది తెలుసుకోవాలి. దట్ ఈస్ ఇన్ఫరెన్షియల్ థింకింగ్. దట్ ఇన్ఫరెన్షియల్ థింకింగ్ is developed through this inferential comprehension, and this can be said as reading between the lines. The first one is reading from the lines, and the second one is reading between the lines. This reading between the lines is very, very important. మన బయటకు కనిపించేదంతా వాస్తవం కాదు, దేనికి ఆంతర్యంగా ఉన్నటువంటి విషయాల్ని మనం గ్రహించాలి. ఇవంతా శాశ్వతం కాదు అని చెబుతుంటారు తత్వవేత్తలు. ఏమిటా ఆ లోపల దాగి ఉన్న విషయాలు ఏమిటి? దట్ ఈస్ ద రియల్ థింగ్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ గివ్స్ అస్. బయట కనిపించే విషయాలు కాకుండా వాటికి ఆంతర్యంగా ఉండే విషయాలు ఏమిటో తెలుసుకోగలగడం నిజంగా విద్యావంతులు అనేవాళ్ళు చేయవలసినటువంటి పని అన్నమాట. విద్య అంటే అది, అంతేగాని బయట కనిపించేది అందరికీ కనిపిస్తుంది. చదువుకున్న వాడికి కనిపిస్తుంది, బయట చదువుకోని వాడికి కనిపిస్తుంది. కనుక ఇన్ఫరెన్షియల్ థింకింగ్, డెవలపింగ్ ఇన్ఫరెన్షియల్ థింకింగ్ ఈజ్ ద మెయిన్ టాస్క్ ఆఫ్ reading comprehension, and this is the important variety, inferential comprehension. It is otherwise called reading between the lines. Okay? And the third one is a critical or evaluative comprehension. What is this critical or evaluative comprehension? This necessitates the learner to go with not only understanding of what is explicitly stated in the passage or implied in the text, but it also develops the ability to judge the ideas in the light of the reader's own life's experience. జీవితానుభవం నుంచి ఆ విషయాన్ని ఇంకా విడమర్చి చూడగలిగేటువంటి సామర్థ్యాన్ని కలిగించేదే ఈ ఇవాల్యుయేటివ్ క్రిటికల్ కాంప్రహెన్షన్ అనేటువంటిది. అండ్ దిస్ ఈజ్ అదర్వైజ్ కాల్డ్ రీడింగ్ బియాండ్ ద లైన్స్. This reading beyond the lines or critical comprehension, reading between the lines, that is inferential comprehension. These two varieties of comprehension are very, very important. I am sorry to say these two things are totally forgotten. And mainly people are going ahead with only factual comprehension. Okay? But apart from the factual comprehension and literal comprehension, we have to also inculcate the habit of going with inferential thinking and inferential comprehension, as well as it is reading between the lines and reading beyond the lines. ఆ వెనక దాగి ఉన్నటువంటి విషయాలను డిగింగ్ అవుట్ ద గోల్డ్, అందులో దాగి ఉన్న ట్రెజర్స్ని బయటికి తీయాలి. అది చేయించినప్పుడు విద్యార్థుల చేత ఆ విద్యార్థులు ఇన్ని గొప్ప గొప్ప విషయాలు ఉన్నాయా ఇందులో. సో చదివే దాంట్లో మనం చదివే ప్రతి ఒక్క విషయంలో కూడా ఆంతర్యంగా ఎన్నెన్నో విషయాలు ఉన్నాయన్నమాట. అది దట్ gives real enjoyment to the learner and reader. That is to be inculcated right from primary stage onwards. Now, reading comprehension can also be global. That means overall understanding of the given text. And it can be local comprehension, that is understanding some specific details in the text. Learners are to be guided properly so that they go back to the passage and find out suitable answers for different questions. So the teachers should be in a position to pose as many questions as possible, a variety of questions not only on factual comprehension, but also on inferential comprehension and critical evaluative comprehension. So they should be first develop that ability to frame questions. After reading a passage, they should frame such questions and pose such questions to the students, so that students are forced to think over to arrive at the answers. Then their thinking ability will improve, and whenever they read a text or a passage or a book, they will be posing similar kind of questions for themselves, and they improve their ability to go with factual comprehension as well as inferential comprehension and critical or evaluative comprehension with whatever the kind of text they go with. So now we shall take a simple example for that. And when all these kinds of comprehension abilities are inculcated, the learners or the readers are made to go back into the passage. So they have to go backward and they should move forward in the passage so as to make logical reasoning and go with thorough understanding. Then only thorough comprehension is done. So as to ensure thorough comprehension, the learners or the students are to be allowed, and rather they are to be forced to go back into the passage and move forward and travel. They should be moving backward and forward in the passage, so that they go with logical reasoning of the ideas that are conveyed over there, and develop the habit of cultivating the abilities of factual comprehension, inferential comprehension, and critical evaluative comprehension. Now, for this purpose, let us have this sentence for a small discussion of the three kinds of comprehension. See the sentence, just one sentence is given. Rajaya planted a tree in his garden on his birthday, and the tree is still alive. Look at the sentence once again, please. Rajaya planted a tree in his garden on his birthday, and the tree is still alive. I think you have understood what is being conveyed over there in that particular sentence. It is just one single sentence. Now, try to frame questions on factual information, whatever is conveyed in this. Look, here are some questions to ensure factual or literal comprehension. Who planted the tree? Is available in the sentence. Rajaya. Rajaya planted a tree. Where did he plant the tree? He planted a tree in his garden. When did he plant the tree? On his birthday. He planted a tree in his garden on his birthday. Rajaya planted a tree on his birthday. Okay? And what did he plant in his garden? A tree. He planted a tree in his garden. These are all the questions we pose on factual comprehension. For all these questions, information is readily available. It is explicitly stated. The answers are explicitly stated in the given sentence. Now, what is the second variety of comprehension? First one is factual comprehension. Second one is inferential comprehension. See, look, for ensuring inferential comprehension, what sort of question we can pose? Is Rajaya alive? For this question, answer is not readily available in the given sentence. Is it available in the sentence? Rajaya planted a tree in his garden on his birthday, and the tree is still alive. Whether he is alive or not is not available. That information is not available in the sentence, but it is hidden whether he is alive or not. There is a clue in the sentence. What is that clue? Still. The tree is still alive. చెట్టు మాత్రం ఇంకా బతికే ఉంది. దాని అర్థం ఏమిటి? అంటే అక్కడ ఏమిటి, ఏ విషయం దాగి ఉంది? ఆ చెట్టు మాత్రం బతికే ఉంది. ఇంకా ఆ చెట్టు మాత్రం ఇంకా బతికే ఉంది అంటే రాజయ్య లేడన్నమాటే కదా. దట్ ఈస్ ఇన్ఫరెన్స్. That information is hidden. When we draw out the hidden information, that is called inferential comprehension. So, is Rajaya alive? For this question, answer is not overtly stated in the given sentence, but we can infer and answer the question with the help of the hint. What's that hint? Still, the word still helps us. That is the hint. Still, ఆ చెట్టు ఇంకా బతికే ఉంది అని అంటే దాని అర్థం రాజయ్య లేనట్టే కదా. So, that is the second variety of comprehension. What's the third variety of comprehension? Critical or evaluative comprehension. See, for ensuring critical or evaluative comprehension, we can pose this kind of question. Why did Rajaya plant a tree in his garden? ఎందుకు మాట్లాడే ఆ చెట్టు అక్కడ వాళ్ళు తన తోటలో, అందున మరి తను పుట్టినరోజున on his birthday he planted a tree in his garden. Why? Why did he plant a tree in his garden? There will be different answers for this question. Somebody may say, even if he is not alive, the tree will be there as a memory. Whenever anybody sees that tree, oh, this tree is planted by Rajaya. As a memory, somebody may say that. That is the answer for this question. Somebody may say, somebody else may say, the tree, he planted the tree in his garden so that even if he is not alive, the fruits of the tree may be enjoyed by generations after generations. ఈ తరం, ఆ తరం తర్వాత ఇంకో తరం, తరం తర్వాత తరం వాళ్ళు కూడా ఆ చెట్టు యొక్క ఫలాలు అనుభవిస్తారు. చెట్టు నాటితే నేనున్నా లేకపోయినా అన్న భావంతో ఆయన చెట్టు నాటి ఉండొచ్చు అని ఇంకో సమాధానం ఇంకొకరు చెప్పవచ్చు. ఇంతేనా? ఇంకేం లేవా సమాధానాలు? Somebody else may say this answer, who has got ecological sense. Because the tree gives fresh air, tree gives shade, it gives fresh air, he might have planted a tree. Okay? He might have planted a tree because it gives a fresh air. Besides fruits, fruits for eating. Only when the fruit is available, that can be taken and eaten by the people. Okay? And in the case of some certain trees, the leaves can be eaten by some certain animals, including human beings. But trees always give shade, always, that means in all seasons, every day, every hour, during daytime, they give oxygen, they liberate oxygen. So, oxygen is generated in leaves. So, somebody else may give this as answer. Rajaya has planted a tree in his garden on his birthday because it gives fresh air, oxygenated air, and it gives shade. Perhaps because of that reason, Rajaya might have planted. That way, for one question, there may be several answers. How these several answers are possible? All these answers are not given, will not be given by one individual. One individual may give one kind of answer, another individual may give another kind of answer. It all depends on the individual's life's experience and ability to relate the issue to his life's experience. Every individual should be should possess the ability to relate the individual's life's experience to the present issue. మన జీవిత అనుభవాన్ని దృష్టిలో పెట్టుకొని ఈ ఇష్యూని ఆలోచన చేయాలి, దాన్ని విడమరిచి ఆలోచన చేయాలి. ఒక విషయాన్ని విడమరిచి ఆలోచన చేయడానికి ఆ వ్యక్తి యొక్క జీవిత అనుభవం మొత్తము అతనికి ఉపయోగపడుతుంది. అలా ఉపయోగపెట్టి ఆ విషయాన్ని విశ్లేషించి చూచి ఆ ప్రశ్నలకు సమాధానాలు చెప్పడం. కనుక విషయాల ఎడల విషయాలను విశ్లేషించి చూడడంలో వ్యక్తి యొక్క అనుభవాన్ని, జీవిత అనుభవాన్ని అక్కడ జోడించడం. ఇక్కడ ఈ విధమైనటువంటి కాంప్రహెన్షన్ మనం ఏమంటామంటే క్రిటికల్ ఆర్ ఇవాల్యుయేటివ్ కాంప్రహెన్షన్ అంటాం. సో టీచర్స్ షుడ్ డెవలప్ the necessary abilities to frame such questions that can develop the abilities in children so that they cultivate the habit of factual comprehension, inferential comprehension and critical or evaluative comprehension. Now, we shall take a passage and read it. We shall take the passage, read it and prepare the three varieties of questions. Okay? Now, look at this paragraph. It is a passage containing 3 or 4 paragraphs. See, let us read the passage and answer the questions given thereunder. Okay? One day, a professor entered the classroom and asked his students to prepare for a surprise test. They waited anxiously. Who? The students. Students waited anxiously at their desks for the test to begin. The professor handed out the question paper with the text facing down as usual. Text కనపడకుండా చేసి పేపర్లు తిరగబెట్టి ఇచ్చేశాడు అన్నమాట. Once he handed out the question paper to them all, he asked the students to turn the page and begin. To everyone's surprise, there were no questions except a black dot in the center of the page. The professor, seeing the expression on everyone's face, said, "I want you to write what you see there." The confused students got started on the inexplicable task. At the end of the class, the professor took all the answer papers and started reading each one of them aloud in front of all the students. All of them, with no exception, described the black dot and tried to explain its position in the middle of the sheet and so on. After all had been read, the classroom was silent. The professor began to explain, "I am not going to grade you on this. I just wanted to give you something to think about. No one wrote about the white part of the paper. Everyone focused on the black dot, and the same happens in our lives. We have a white paper to observe and enjoy, but we always focus on the dark spots. Our life is a gift given to us by God with love and care. We always have reasons to celebrate. Nature renewing itself every day, our friends around us, the job that provides our livelihood, the miracles we see every day, and so on. However, we insist on focusing only on the dark spots, the health issues that bother us, the lack of money, the complicated relationship with a family member, the disappointment with a friend, etc. The dark spots are very small compared to everything we have in our lives, but they are the ones that pollute our minds. That is the passage. Take your eyes away from the black spots in your life. Enjoy each one of your blessings, each moment that life gives you. Be happy and live your life positively. So, that is the passage. So, passage is over. For your convenience, I will just show you the passage paragraph wise once again, so that the viewers can frame some questions. Of course, questions also would be available now to think over. Just the first paragraph. One day a professor entered the classroom and asked his students to prepare for a surprise test. They waited anxiously at their desks for the test to begin. Professor handed out the question paper with the text facing down as usual. Once he handed over the question papers to them all, he asked his students to turn the page and begin. To everyone's surprise, there were no questions at all, except a black dot in the center of the page. The professor, seeing the expression on everyone's face, said, "I want you to write what you see there." The confused students got started on the inexplicable task. At the end of the class, the professor took all the answer papers and started reading each one of them aloud in front of all the students. All of them, with no exception, described the black dot and tried to explain its position in the middle of the sheet, etc. After all has been read, all the papers have been read, the classroom was silent. The professor began to explain, "I am not going to grade you on this. I just wanted to give you some certain thing to think about. No one wrote about the white part of the paper. Everyone focused on the black dot, and the same happens in our lives. We have a white paper to observe and enjoy, but we always focus on the dark spots. Our life is a gift given to us by God with love and care. We always have reasons to celebrate. Nature renewing itself every day, our friends around us, the job that provides us livelihood, the miracles we see every day, and so on. However, we insist on focusing only on the dark spots, the health issues that bother us, the lack of money, the complicated relationship with a family member, the disappointment with a friend, etc. The dark spots are very small compared to everything we have in our lives, but they are the ones that pollute our minds. Take your eyes away from the black spots in your life. Enjoy each one of your blessings, each moment that life gives you. Be happy and live your life positively." Now, let us move on to the questions. Answer these questions. Try to analyze the questions. What did the professor want to do one day? What did he want to do one day? పాపం ఏదో టెస్ట్ పెట్టాలనుకున్నాడు, అంతే కదా. The professor wanted to conduct a test to his students. It is available in the paragraph. One day, professor entered classroom, asked his students to prepare for the surprise test. So, he wanted to conduct a special test, surprise test. Okay, that is the first question, for which answer is readily available in the paragraph. That means what a sort of question it is? Does it is it related to the factual comprehension or inferential comprehension or critical comprehension? Nothing but factual comprehension, because information is available there. Second question, what did the students find in the question paper? What did they find there in the question paper? The students found what? A white paper and a black dot in its middle. It is also there, available there in the paragraph. See, look. The professor handed out the question paper with the text facing down as usual, and he asked his students to turn the page and begin. To everyone's surprise, there were no questions. except a black dot in the center of the page. So, entire page is white paper, but there is only one black dot in its center. So, the information is available there for the question. So, this improves the factual comprehension. What did the students find in the question paper? A black dot on white page. The students found only that. What are the things that pollute our minds? Now, I think answer is available somewhere. Okay. Let us see. What do pollute? See, look, in this paragraph, the word pollute is available. They are the ones that pollute our minds. What are they? The dark spots are very small compared to everything we have in our lives. What are those dark spots? What are those dark spots? The health issues that bother us, the lack of money, the complicated relationship with a family member, the disappointment with a friend, and so on, like that. All such things pollute our minds. So, answer is available in the paragraph. What are the things that pollute our minds? These are all the things which pollute our minds. For these three questions, answers are readily available in the paragraph, explicitly stated over there. Now, look at this fourth question. What does the black dot represent? Do you have any information for this question in the paragraph? There is black dot, okay. On white paper, there is a black dot, okay. The question is, what does the black dot represent? They might have described, the students might have described about the black dot. It is here, it is there, it is nearer the center, etc., etc., etc. They might have described that black dot, but the question is, what does the black dot represent? It represents our worries, the things which pollute our mind. The things which pollute our mind are represented by the black dot. Okay? Similarly, what does the white space on the paper represent? What does the white space on the paper represent? A white space, what does it represent? The white space represents what? Think over. The next question, why did the professor give such a strange test to his students? For this, there may not be one answer. For the questions 4 and 5, there may be single answer. The answers may not be readily available there in the paragraph. That means, question numbers 4 and 5, these two questions are on inferential comprehension. We have to infer, we have to draw out the hidden things. A black dot ante emiti daniki sambandhinchiనటువంటి విషయాన్ని అది what does the black dot represent? దేన్ని represent చేస్తుంది? What does the white space represent? These two things, only single answer for these questions. Each question has got only one single answer, but that is hidden. That is to be, these answers for these two questions are to be inferred. But for the question number 6, There may be several answers. Why did the professor give such a strange test to his students? Why did he give such a test to his students? The strange test. నార్మల్లీ పరీక్ష అంటే ఏం చేస్తాం, ఏదో కొన్ని క్వశ్చన్లు ఇస్తారు, ఆన్సర్లు రాయమంటారు. కానీ ఈయన ఏం పెట్టాడు, అలాంటి పరీక్ష పెట్టలే. హీ హాస్ గివెన్ ఎ స్ట్రేంజ్ టెస్ట్. వై డిడ్ హీ గివ్ సచ్ ఎ స్ట్రేంజ్ టెస్ట్ టు హిస్ స్టూడెంట్స్? వాళ్ళ యొక్క ఆలోచన సామర్థ్యాల్ని తెలుసుకోవాలి. ఓకే, చూడండి. Now answers to these questions. What did the professor want to do one day? One day the professor wanted to conduct a surprise test. Second question. What did the students find in the question paper? They found a black dot on a white sheet given as the question paper. That is given as the question paper for them. The white sheet with a black dot in the center. Question number 3. What are the things that pollute our minds? The things that pollute our minds are the lack of money, the complicated relationship with family member, the disappointment with a friend, and so on. These things are readily available in the passage given. But for question number 4, what does the black dot represent? It represents the inconveniences, difficulties, and problems that people face in their lives. Okay? They pollute our minds. What does the white space on the paper represent? The white space on the paper represents the happy time enjoyed by the people, by everyone. Life is there to enjoy, not to bother over any difficult thing or any problem. Problems do come and go. You are there to solve them. They can be sorted out, but life is there to enjoy. That sort of attitude is to be inculcated. Whether my students do possess that kind of attitude or not, he wanted to know. The professor might have wanted to know. That's a very important thing these days, when we find several students and youngsters, for simple things they are committing suicides, both boys and girls. Very, very sorrowful thing, very pitiable thing. Now, white space, it represents happy time enjoyed by the people. Now the question 6. Why did the professor give such a strange test to his students? The reason behind giving such a strange test to the students may be to find whether the students describe the white space as well as a black dot on the white sheet. It may be answer for the question. అదెందుకు ఆ స్ట్రేంజ్ టెస్ట్ పెట్టాడు? అలా బ్లాక్ డాట్ గురించే చెబుతారా, వైట్ స్పేస్ గురించి కూడా ఏమైనా చెబుతారా, రెండింటి గురించి చెబుతారా లేదా అని ఆ టెస్ట్ పెట్టాడు అని ఆన్సర్ చెప్పామనుకో, అది ఒక రకమైన ఆన్సర్. ఇంకొక రకమైన ఆన్సర్, టు నో వెదర్ ద స్టూడెంట్స్ డిస్క్రైబ్ ద వైట్ స్పేస్ యాజ్ ఎ రిప్రజెంటేషన్ ఆఫ్ గుడ్ థింగ్స్ and the black dot as a representation of bad things in the world. ఇంకొకరి యొక్క అభిప్రాయం ఎట్లా కూడా ఉండవచ్చు. ఇది కూడా ఆ క్వశ్చన్కి తగిన ఆన్సరే. అది స్టూడెంట్స్ వైట్ స్పేస్ని మంచి విషయాలకు సంబంధించిన గుర్తుగా చెప్తారని, బ్లాక్ డాట్ని ఈ ప్రపంచంలో ఉన్నటువంటి చెడ్డ విషయాలకు ఒక రిప్రజెంటేషన్గా చెప్తారా లేదా అని చెప్పి. సో to know whether the students describe the white space as a representation of good things and the black dot as a representation of bad things in the world. అలాగా చెప్పినా కానీ మనం అడిగినటువంటి క్వశ్చన్కు ఇది కూడా సమాధానం అవుతుంది. అవుతుందా కాదా? అవుతుంది. నెక్స్ట్, టు నో వెదర్ ద స్టూడెంట్స్ ఆర్ ఏబుల్ టు ఐడెంటిఫై దట్ లైఫ్ ఈజ్ ఏ కాంబినేషన్ ఆఫ్ గుడ్ అండ్ బ్యాడ్ థింగ్స్. whether the students are able to identify that life is a combination of both good and bad things. ఆ పేపర్ ఇచ్చాడు, పేపర్ మీద డాట్ పెట్టాడు, దాని గురించి వాళ్ళ అభిప్రాయాలు చెప్పుకున్నాడు. అది this is also a suitable answer for the question. See, another answer, to know whether the students are capable of saying that people have to concentrate more on positives and less on negatives in life. జీవితంలో పాజిటివ్స్ మీదనే ఎక్కువ దృష్టి పెట్టాలి, నెగటివ్స్ మీద చాలా తక్కువ దృష్టి పెట్టాలి. అందుకే బ్లాక్ స్పాట్ చిన్నదిగా పెట్టాడు ఆయన, మిగతాదంతా వైట్ స్పేస్ ఇచ్చాడు. Why did he conduct that test? That is the question. Okay? See the question once again. Why did the professor give such a strange test to his students? There may be several answers for such question. That means questions of this kind inculcate critical comprehension, develop the ability to comprehend in a critical way. So, how many kinds of comprehension? Reading comprehension we have now discussed. We have now discussed in this session that in reading comprehension there are three kinds of things. First one is factual or literal comprehension. The second one is inferential comprehension. And the third one is critical or evaluative comprehension. For the factual comprehension, things are readily available there in the paragraph. If you are satisfied with such questions, whether the teacher or the taught, whether the teachers or the students, if they are satisfied with those things, reading comprehension is not complete. The teachers should be in a position to pose questions on inferential comprehension, to inculcate that ability of comprehending the passage through inferential comprehension, and develop inferential thinking. And further, teachers also should pose questions on critical or evaluative comprehension, where their life's experience should come to their credit for answering such questions.
రైట్ సార్, మనకు ఆల్మోస్ట్ టైం అయిపోవచ్చింది సార్.
Okay.
ఫైనల్ గా చెప్పండి, లాస్ట్ 2 minutes, ఈ సబ్జెక్ట్ గురించి అభ్యర్థులు ఎలాంటి జాగ్రత్తలు తీసుకోవాలంటారు? ఈజీగా అసలు రీడింగ్ కాంప్రహెన్షన్స్ గురించి ఎలాంటి జాగ్రత్తలు తీసుకోవాలి, అలాగే ఆన్సర్ ను సులువుగా గుర్తించడానికి ఒక 2 minutes లో పద్ధతులు చెప్పండి.
ఇక్కడ ఇందాక నుంచి ఈ గత గంట కాలంగా మనం డిస్కస్ చేస్తూ ఉన్న విషయం ఏంటంటే, ఏదైనా చదువుతున్నాము, ఆ చదివింది అర్థం చేసుకున్నావా లేదా అని చెప్పేసి క్వశ్చన్స్ వేస్తుంటారు, వాటికి ఆన్సర్స్ రాస్తుంటారు విద్యార్థులు. ఆ క్వశ్చన్స్కు ఆ ప్యాసేజ్లో ఉన్న ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మీద ఆధారపడే అక్కడే దొరికేటువంటి సమాధానాలు వచ్చేటట్టుగా ప్రశ్నలు వేస్తే అది పెద్ద విశేషమే కాదు. ఆంతర్యంగా దాగి ఉన్న భావాలను వెలికి తీసేటువంటి సామర్థ్యాన్ని విద్యార్థులలో మనం కలుగు చేయాలి. దానికి ఇన్ఫరెన్షియల్ థింకింగ్ వాళ్ళు డెవలప్ చేయాలి. ఆ ఇన్ఫరెన్షియల్ థింకింగ్ లేకనే చాలామంది ఎన్నో ఇబ్బందులు ఎదుర్కొంటున్నారు. ఈవేళ జీవితాల్లో ఇబ్బందులు ఎదుర్కోవడానికి కారణమే ఏంటంటే ఈ ఇన్ఫరెన్షియల్ థింకింగ్ లేకపోవడం. అంతా మనకు ఇక్కడ కళ్ళకు కనిపిస్తూ ఉండాలి, కనిపించకపోతే డిస్సాటిస్ఫై అయిపోతారు, దాంతో కుంగిపోతారు. ఈ కుంగుబాటు ఎక్కడికి దారితీస్తుందో నేను చెప్పనక్కర్లేదు.
రైట్ సార్.
కాబట్టి ఇన్ఫరెన్షియల్ థింకింగ్, దానిని మించి ఇంకా క్రిటికల్ ఇవాల్యుయేటివ్ కాంప్రహెన్షన్, దాన్ని నీ జీవిత అనుభవం ఎంతో అవసరం. నీకు మున్ముందు నువ్వు ఎదుర్కోబోయేటువంటి సమస్యలకు నీవు ఆల్రెడీ గడించిన జీవితానుభవం అనేటువంటిది నీకు సహాయం పడుతుంది అనేటువంటిది వాళ్ళకి అర్థమయ్యేటట్టు చేయాలి, అలాంటి క్వశ్చన్స్ వేసి. కనుక రీడింగ్ కాంప్రహెన్షన్ అనే విషయము కనపడడానికి చిన్నదిగా కనిపించినా ఇట్స్ వెరీ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. అండ్ టీచర్స్ హ్యావ్ టు టేక్ keen interest in developing the 3 varieties of comprehension in learners. Okay?
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్. గురుకుల అభ్యర్థులకు చాలా విలువైన సమాచారాన్ని అందించారు. థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్ సార్.
Welcome, please.
ఈ అంశం మరో అంశంతో మళ్ళీ కలుద్దాం. చూస్తూనే ఉండండి టీషార్. నమస్తే.